welcome or welcome back to the channel, and this is the intro to my Danmei vlog. So what is Danmei? I had no idea before this. I did have several volumes of it, mostly, and let's be honest, we all do this, because of the absolutely gorgeous cover art that these new published editions from Seven Seas Seven Seas have been putting out these published editions, and I saw them at a Books A Million shortly after the first two came out, which would be these two. I believe these two were in the first wave. And I picked them up and I thought, I'll give it a try, and then I didn't give it a try. Like many things, like every book collector, book lover, they've sat on my shelves. So when the Husky and His White Cat came out, I again wanted it just based on the artwork, and I was getting more active on Bookstagram, and I had seen a lot of people talking about Danmei, so I thought, why not give it a try? So for my first big vlog project for the channel, I thought I would read Danmei. So what is Danmei? I had to look it up. Danmei is basically, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, this is me just reading random articles on the internet, it is a subgenre of Chinese literature mainly based off not webcomics, but like web serializations of like boys love, sort of. It's a lot of times Danmei and boys love is used interchangeably when talking about the genre, but it has come to encompass a lot of things. It just mainly focuses in, if there is a romantic pairing, it's between two men. And I think it almost always has a romantic pairing. And I have my laptop here, so just some few things that stand out to me while I'm reading about it. These specifically, all three of these, also lean into aspects of, and I am trying to pronounce this as close as I can, wuxia and shisha. I'll put them on the screen. So think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is the most generic example I can use. There's cultivation in it, which is something that's also very prevalent in like progression fantasy and lit RPG if you're in the indie space. So it's a lot of fighting, martial sex, that sort of thing. And it is usually, all of these have like reincarnation trope or insertion into another world sort of trope, but from what's coming out soon and what I have read, this is not a requirement. I believe Seven Seas has a series coming out soon that's a detective series, and I'm very intrigued by that one. It can fall into any genre, but these are three that I have tried out all seem to have the wuxia and shisha elements. I hope I'm saying this right, I'm so sorry. And they're very like reincarnation or god ascension or transposed into another world sort of thing. And these are all in prose, so these are not comics, they're not manhwa, they are just a novel. They read a lot like, to me, light novels, which are YA, usually serialized novels from Japan that often inspire your favorite anime and manga. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. That time I got reincarnated as a vending machine. Those sort of books are all light novels, and these are like a similar writing style to that, and they're all translated, like I said, from Japanese. It does say that in the beginning this was targeted mostly at women because those were the people reading them the most, and I read a few articles kind of talking about possibly why that is. Women were writing them, and it was bucking normal stereotypes associated with marriage and relationships, that sort of thing. But it has like a much wider mass appeal now. A lot of websites and forums host these stories. It reminds me of almost like Royal Road, if you're from the indie fantasy sphere, where a lot of people self-publish their own works, and now a lot of the bigger ones are getting picked up. So this is mostly just a like fun experiment vlog to see if this is a genre I would enjoy. I love romance. I love the translated like light novel category. I read a lot of light novels usually. I believe they're, no, moved them. I was gonna say, there used to be a giant stack of SAO light novels behind me. I moved them downstairs. So this is something that's like adjacent to my wheelhouse, and I thought I would give them a try in this vlog and see what I thought. This is also the vlog in which I am going to repaint and decorate my downstairs library, so you will see the process of that in some B-roll footage. So I guess come along if you're interested. If you want to see my final thoughts, you can skip to the end. In total honesty, I have actually already read these, and I will give those at the end of this vlog, and everything should be time-stamped below. So thanks for watching, guys, and cue that vlog footage. Hello! I hope I have put an intro on this video, so we'll see, but I finished this morning the Scum Villains Self-Saving System by MXTX, and my thoughts as of now are really good. I actually 100% did not expect this book to be what it was. For some reason, I expected something dense and flowery and a little over the top. For sure it was over the top, but it was over the top in a hilarious, almost absurdist humor kind of way that I really like. It reminded me a lot of the light novels and stuff that I tend to enjoy. So this was a huge win. I tabbed and noted the hell out of this in back. I hope you can see those. And this is the story of a man, we'll call him Cucumber Bro based on his handle online. I can't actually remember his original name because he is transmigrated, I think is the word they used, into his quote favorite online story, and he becomes, and if I say this wrong, I'm so sorry, but I tried to look it up, Shenxing Shou, this man right here, and he is the scum villain of this story that he enjoyed, to the protagonist, we're here, Lu Benghua. I think I said that wrong. Actually, I'm certain I did. In the original story, Shenxing Shou was the villain, and ultimately, to use the phrasing that he used frequently in this book, turned into a human stick. Lo Benghua becomes a super powerful demon cultivator and then wreaks his revenge on his old master by cutting off his arms and legs and stringing him up, I think he said in the demon realm. So his plan from the get-go, he is transmigrated at the beginning of the story, he is going to save himself. So he has to, within the constraints of the system that is set up, there's this overlord system, save himself but also follow the plot of the story. So it is that story, and it is ridiculous and a little over the top, but it was very cleverly done. I think it was very clever, and some of the monsters that described in this, I love a good monster, and it's kind of hard to surprise me with monsters, but this did it. I was like, whoa, what is that, ma'am? I don't like this. And yet I loved it. So fantastic first start to this Danmei experiment. I have the second book of this already, and as far as I can tell, this is a completed series. So I just need to pick up the third book, and the fourth book is a collection of short stories, and based on this one, I will definitely be doing that. Super love this. I think the next one I pick up will probably be, let's see if I can reach it. Yes, Heaven's Official Blessing. This is by the same author, and because I enjoyed the writing style so much, I think I'm going to continue with their books. And I know this one has quite a bit of a fan base, a little bit bigger from what I can tell online than Scum Villain. So I'm extremely excited for that, and I do believe this series is still ongoing, so that will be great to hop into something that's going on right now. So that is my progress so far. I will check in again with you guys later. Bye!
Every time you get in my
to this portion. Although the hurled torch only illuminated the area overhead for an instant, everyone still got a clear look of what had been above the trees. Long black hair, deathly pale faces, tattered military officers' uniforms, and arms dangling in the air. The swinging corpses of more than 40 men were suspended upside down at varying heights on the trees. No one knew how long their blood had flowed, but they had yet to dry up. They dripped and dripped, forming a terrifying scene. A forest of hanging corpses at a rain of blood. Wow. That's a lot. Hi, I am back with a very late update. So, I have finished Heaven Official's Blessing, which I have realized I keep saying it wrong, but it is Heaven Official's Blessing. So this was not very different from the Scum Villain self-saving system, but it is somewhat different in that this is more of a cute romance slow burn, I think, and Scum Villain had a bit more of a oh shit, I'm going to be turned into a human stick sort of vibe. So in this one, our main character right here is this young man who has ascended to godhood 3 times total, but has been cast down twice. So this is his 3rd ascension, and he has to earn merits to kind of make up for some stuff that happened on his 3rd ascension, and basically to get back into the good graces of his fellow gods. And so he takes on these odd jobs and decides to set up his own shrine to himself, which the others mock him for, but he has to get worshippers somehow. And along the way, he meets this other man who is a sort of like king of the ghosts, sort of super-powered, almost bad guy to the others. And it's their kind of slow, episodic seeming, almost like little adventures as they get to know each other, and they go and do these things and solve these mysteries. There was like 2 or 3 little excursions in this book. This was super cute. The whole time you know what's going on with this gentleman here sort of disguising himself, but it's so cute to watch them go back and forth, and there's these 2 other young officials who are assisting our main character, and their obliviousness and over-the-top characteristics are just hilarious to watch. Now, I will say the first, like, 5 to 10% of this is very overwhelming. If you've not read something of this style or with this particular setting, it's going to take a lot to maybe get used to. But once you do understand everything that's going on, the machinations, the world, the magic, as it were, it's very, very funny, and it's very cute, and I'm just sold. I'm very sold on this series. This is another one. I don't know why I didn't expect to read these and be like, I can't wait to read the next ones, but I really can't. I kind of thought maybe I would do a one and done and I wouldn't be in for the whole series, but yet here we are. And this series is at least 5 books, maybe 6 now. At least Scum Villain is finished at 3 with a short story collection. So maybe I'll finish Scum Villain first. So this is my 2nd installment, inadvertently matching this. Also, just as a small spoiler, and I will say this is a spoiler, but only for what's going on this cover, because it is not what you think it is. And I'll put up a little timestamp here so you can skip it. This really pretty, cute scene is them walking through a forest that's dripping blood. There's a bunch of like dead dudes hanging upside down in the trees above them up here, and this umbrella is keeping him safe from the blood. And like, yeah, that's really pretty and cute, but when you know the context of this cover, it's hilarious. Okay, that's all. I had to tell the viewers that would watch the spoiler section because I just am so highly amused by the rain of blood. I think I mentioned that I read that section out in a previous clip, but that is seeming to be what is happening here. Anyway, had to share that bit. Love it. The next book I'm going to read is The White Cat Shizun and His Husky. Something, I can't remember the exact title. It is upstairs. So I will be starting that today because I want to finish up this unnecessarily long project that has been derailed by several things. I want to finish this up so I can start some of the other smaller ones I had planned. So that is this update. Didn't realize I was wearing this whole time. Don't tell my boss I'm currently at work on a break. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye. Driving real fast and I'm feeling alright. I could be a sunshine. Okay. It is a sick update time. I have I thought it was a sinus infection. I'm beginning to suspect otherwise. I am very sick. So I have not been doing my reading, but I did start The Husky and His White Cat Shizun about 4 days ago. I think it was last Friday. So it was like the day or a day before I got really sick. I am going to attempt to keep reading this today and work on it some more this week. As of yet, I thought I was getting better, but I'm not. I just now got hit with another migraine. I get migraines sometimes when I'm very ill, and I just got hit with another migraine, so that may not happen today, but I am enjoying the start of this. I am just barely in there, you can see. So far, it's already a lot more, like, violent at times in threat and tone. And I know that it's supposed to be very dark compared to a lot of Danmei, and there's a lot of triggers. So, like, I'm ready, I think. But I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the style. It's a little different than, Heaven Official's Blessing and the others, but I'm still looking forward to seeing what happens. It is very funny, too. I have laughed out loud on more than one occasion and done the whole, hey, listen to this, where my husband patiently listens and then giggles when appropriate and has no idea what's going on. So, this one, so far, is a win. I have yet to knock one out of I have yet to have a miss with Danmei, so I am very excited about this. Probably gonna go to the bookstore in a day or two once we get paid and pick up, I think there's another MXTX series that I don't have the first in, so I might pick that up and pick up the third Scum Villain so I can read through that series and finish it. But so far this vlog has done nothing but cement that Danmei is something I enjoy. I will report back when I have more on this. Finished. There is a cliffhanger ending. I am deeply upset about this cliffhanger ending, but I loved it a lot. Oh no. Okay, alright, so pull it together. This is I get really excited every time I start to talk about this or think about it. This is the story of Moran, who was a villain. At the beginning of the book, he is the emperor of the mortal realms. He has, like, wiped out all of these sects, all of these, like, groups, and he is the ruler, and he is not a nice guy. He's honestly a truly terrible person. And he dies. Through means of his own hand, he dies. He is reincarnated in his 15, 16-year-old self's body. And it's one of those things like, could he do better? Or is he going to make the same mistakes that he did make? He vows. The one thing he does say that he's going to do is he's going to save the life of the man he loves most in the world and get his retribution for his death in the past life, even though he kind of already did that. And wow, it goes a place he doesn't expect. It went places I didn't expect. Yes, the trigger warnings are warranted, but oh my goodness. He's such a little dick, but I really like him. He's like a 15-year-old asshole, but I still really liked him. And Chu Wanning, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, is my poor misunderstood, shelled up in his own head baby, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. I love him. It could be because he reminds me of my husband a lot, because they both have really hard crab shells. But wow, this is so good. Oh my god. Total win. I tabbed and noted the ever-loving hell out of this. There's a cat. Let's see if I can get you. What are you doing? What are you doing? I have the jujitsu mats folded because I'm painting and I didn't want paint to get on the mats, and she really likes the bottom of the mats. I'm gonna have to kick her out. So I'll sum this up with saying I adored this. I can't wait to pick up the second volume. If you like light novels, if you don't mind some like very weird, maybe taboo tropes, and a super jackass with some really bad like actions in his past hero, this is one to pick up. So I super loved this. So we're going to start in this back corner. I'm just going to show you a pan around of the library / training area. Typically, these are jiu-jitsu mats for Brazilian jiu-jitsu. My husband does that. I have them folded up because I am still technically working on the ceiling, painting it, but for the most part, the library is done. All of my random craft, art supplies, and our board games are all back here in the corner with my husband's, like, stuff. That's a bit of a mess, but it's mostly storage. So for this big open wall, I got a Demon Slayer tapestry. I absolutely love Demon Slayer, and I love this tapestry. My dragon poster. And this is where my library stuff starts. Over here we have my Star Wars books, some of my writing books right here, some of my characters from my book, and then nonfiction is overflowing up there. I have some pictures and things on the wall, and then here are the books themselves. This is my children's book, my middle grade books, and my mass market paperbacks, which I physically cannot read anymore, but I don't want to get rid of, and my actual collection itself with some of my figures and other things up top. Seating is a little crazy because this is also our game space for D&D, which we have games on Saturdays, usually every other week. So the table is folded up over there. So chairs float around as well as the lamp. But that's the books in their nice white shelves. I also replaced the blinds with curtains. One of my favorite dragon posters. But yeah, I painted everything except the ceiling and the baseboards because we are replacing these with white ones in the next couple months. But that is the library redone. I have my reading space back. It's a lovely green instead of brown, and I am super happy. Hooray! You're not allowed in here. And it's me again! We're here. So, how did it go? Well, if you've watched up till now, this is no surprise if you skipped ahead. I really liked all of these. So, first off, the writing, it is a translated of fiction that is written by people online, you know, in serialized or just self-published format. So the writing, I wouldn't say is, like, astounding, but it's fun. Of these, Scum Villain is probably the most casual in style. There's a lot of crude humor in all three of these. But this one is the most casual, the most relaxed, the most almost meta at times. But I eat that up. I have a very stupid sense of humor sometimes. And to bed right into it. Husky and his white cat Shizun was probably the best as far as writing goes, but it still also had those moments of very, very corny, slightly awkward writing, but on the whole, I really enjoyed it. It's nothing that bothered me. If you are a writing snob, if you're beautiful prose, perfect grammar, these are not going to be for you, but if you don't mind that, these are fantastic. On the whole, again, super enjoyed them. Things to keep in mind if you want to read Danmei, and this is based off of my experience with just these three, they do play around with questionable tropes sometimes. Almost all of these, no, not almost all of them. These two, that is almost all of them, what am I talking about? These two both played around with the teacher-student trope a little bit, because in both of these, In this one, he is reincarnated or transmaterialized, I think is the word he used, into the teacher role, who is the villain. And in this one, he is the student. He is reincarnated as the student. Now, I guess there could be an argument made, especially for Husky, that he is older than his actual 15-year-old body is because he is reincarnation. This one, nothing happens in this first volume. And there's also the idea of cultivation. You stop aging at a certain point, all this stuff, ascension. So keep that in mind. There is the teacher-student thing going on there that could be problematic for some people. And also, especially Husky and the White Cat, please check your trigger warnings. Some of these have some very dark backstories. There's some sad stuff that happens. In Husky, it comes out about midway through. Moran he was a bad guy. He did some really terrible things to Shu Waning, and like, check your triggers for murder, blood, gore, rape. None of it is explicitly on the page in a way that bothered me, and rape is a big trigger for me, but it is there, it is insinuated at, and is something that is stated and talked about and has been done in the past, so keep that in mind. But overall, I will be definitely reading more of this. The beautiful artwork is staying on my shelves, and this is a genre that I am super enjoying. Let me know, do you read Danmei? Do you enjoy it? Do you have any recommendations? I have a bunch. All of these are 7Cs. They are the ones doing them right now. And if you go to their website, their catalog has a bunch more coming out soon, so you can look forward and see what you're interested in. Like I said, these were all very wuxia and xinsha in style and format, but it looks like there is possibly a detective one coming out soon. So I mentioned at the beginning of the blog, are you interested in that sort of thing? Is this something that you'd be looking forward to? And any of your thoughts down below. That is it for me for this project. It took me 3.5 months to finish, but it's done. And I guess that's it. So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. So Danmei is a